Hi, it's been a bit, and we'll get to that in a second. The garden is an absolute mess. We got a pretty good harvest out of it last year, and partially to plan, we let it all grow and die back. Here's what we're looking at. And this wrapped structure here is the chicken coop. Because we also had about 3 weeks of bitterly cold weather, which is rare for this area, and we wrapped that to keep that warm. They're still producing. We're getting 4 eggs a day, and I'll get to that too. But I just wanted to let you know the true state of things here and the way things look like before we set up and do the typical YouTube talk with the prettiest background behind me that I can find in this jungle. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into it and figure out what happened. You guys are probably going to hear Ollie, the rooster. He's not a big fan of people being around and talking near his girls. But you'll also notice a couple things about me. The beard is bigger, but the body is also bigger. I spent most of last year very sick. And unfortunately, that meant I had to focus on myself and cut out certain things. My other YouTube channel, which is focused on photography and landscape photography and general stuff like that, is doing pretty well. So I had to put all of my eggs in that basket. And as a result, this channel suffered. But not only this channel, this garden. Once we got harvests out, I frankly couldn't be bothered to weed. So after the growing season, this grew all up. We've got the net down. We've got damage to most of the posts. Most of the beds are pretty tore up. I also share this with my elderly parents, and their idea of gardening and my idea of gardening are completely different. And a lot of the trash that's in here is just random stuff that they've decided to store in here. We're going to get to that. We're going to plant some potatoes today, and I sound like a broken record, but we're going to get to that too. I want to show you the realist of this. And the realism is, this is hard. This is a chore. There were some successes. Some successes. This potato bed, we got tons of potatoes out. Tomatoes, I think we ended up with gallons canned. There were failures. Beets, radishes, something ate them, don't know. Cucumbers. The cucumbers we ended up getting a good first harvest out of, and then from there we had some kind of insect problem. And that was about it. The really big success you keep kind of hearing over in the corner here were the chickens. As you recall, we started with 4 chickens. Well, right now we have 4 hens and 1 rooster. And if you remember right, when we went to go get the chickens, my wife, instead of using the vast internet as her library, was spoken to by an old man who was some kind of chicken whisperer, he proclaimed. He'd been raising chicken for 60 years, and he could see a rooster chick through the eye of a needle at 70 paces. So he picked out the chickens for her. We ended up with 3 roosters and 1 hen. The biggest rooster, Ollie, we kept. The other 2 roosters were given to a hungry family. And then we had 1 hen and 1 rooster. The chicken swaps around here, I think the chicken whisperer my wife met must have made his rounds because it was all roosters. Later in the year, past pullet stage, we ended up finding some Rhode Island red mixed with some kind of commercial grade chicken. And my parents picked up 2. Brought them home. That would leave us with 3 hens. Well, my father then lost one of the hens, he believed. When he went to go look in the coop, there was only 2 hens and 1 rooster. Panicked, he went back and got another chicken, brought it back, opened the coop to find all 3 chickens there and looking at him. So now we have 4 hens. We get 4 eggs daily. And we have for 4 months. They never miss. They range in color from lavender to rust to speckled. They taste fantastic. Huge, huge success. The plastic is there to protect them from the cold. And though they usually slow down in the winter season, these girls never missed a beat. The one difficulty I have with this is predators. I live out in the middle of nowhere. Raccoons, feral cats, possums are a nightly visit to this coop. I have some have-a-heart traps out here. Most we catch, give a little bit of spook, and release. That's probably 90% of them. We don't catch the feral cats. They don't really try to get in there. We usually just get possums and raccoons. And then 10% of those that we catch cannot be dissuaded and will continually come back and try to get in. And those meet an untimely end. So the chickens have never been harmed. We've only had 1 raccoon make it into the coop. That was early on in the build process. And he never decided to come back after us getting him out of there and releasing him. So that was good. Potato bed. I'm going to show you what I got for potatoes. These are seed potatoes from last year. Some are good, some are not. We're going to get these planted, talk briefly on those. My goal this year for this channel, I want to get a video out bi-weekly. Now that the health is getting better, this is starting to shrink. I need the vegetables and I need the exercise. So we'll see what happens. Let's get into this.
Dig a little hole in the soft, soft ground. Wiggle your fingers, make a cozy mound. Sprinkle in the seeds, tuck them in real tight. Give them a drink, say goodnight. Grow little seeds, grow up tall. Stretch to the sky, don't you fall. Sun shines here, rain will call. Grow little seeds, grow up tall. Roots go deep where the worms like to play. Leaves pop up to greet the day. Water and love, that's all they need. From tiny dreams to plants indeed. Grow little seeds, grow up tall.
This is my wildflower bed for pollinators and whatnot. And not the real purpose we're over here, but we'll cut this back. Now it's all gone to seed, it'll self-seed. I haven't planted this for 2 years. It just comes back by itself. We are over here is for the net. There's a massive hole in the middle. It's falling down everywhere. And essentially, it has to all be replaced. I just chased 2 birds out of here, for example, that had gotten stuck. We'll get to that. Lots of small projects. If you want to see what the cardboard did for weed control, it's not bad. A lot of this is kind of just overgrown grass that came up from the edges and overlapped. It's not great either. Yeah, so cardboard weed control, I would give it a 5 out of 10. That's the garden, the start of it. We've got 3 beds cleaned out, 1 planted. We're about 5 weeks from the last frost. 4 weeks maybe, we'll see what they say. And then we're going to start filling these beds. I haven't decided on all of them. We're going to do zucchini this year, we're going to do beans this year, and we're going to do tomatoes this year. The strawberry bed already has plants coming up. The asparagus bed is looking good. We might actually get to harvest this year. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me, and you should see more and less of me this year. Less as in mass, more as in, you get it. Anyway, bye for now. See you soon.